destiny calling. The 6 newcomers in the NCAA who have crashed the party, and they are letting y'all know that they are here. Because the month of March, when it comes to basketball, is where dreams are either fulfilled or shattered. It's where legacies are written in ink, and buzzer beaters and upsets are the norm. For 6 teams, this March is more than just another tournament. This is their first, and this is history in the making. So let's roll on to it. First up, George Mason.
You can throw all this stuff out the window, ladies. It's 40 minutes of who wants this game. Believe Big got us here. Now let's be faithful with 40. Every minute matters. That's all we got left. And all we got is each other.
Top of the key three, Captain. Suarez pulls up, jumpers, good. Spins, turns, Melania off the glass and good. Greenberg, her jumper is good from about 15 along the baseline. Now drives off the glass and good. Harris now takes the jumper and knocks it down. Page will try a 15-footer and drills it. Just inside the arc, about an 18-footer. Zahira Walton or Suarez crosses over. Suarez off the glass. And that's it. You can cut the nets. The Patriots are your 8-10 women's champions. 73-58 over St. Joe's. They're headed to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history.
Let's go, Patriots. For the first time in school history, George Mason is headed to the big dance for women's basketball. Guys, we are seeing a team just elevate right in front of our very eyes. George Mason was, a couple years ago, just another team in the 8-10 that, there was just another team that was not very good. They were just there. Not much to talk about in the 8-10, but then Vanessa Blair Lewis comes over. She comes over to George Mason and then just elevates this program. They were fighting for respect, but now, this season, they were not just contenders, y'all. They were on a hunt for destiny. And when the buzzer sounded in the 8-10 championship game, when George Mason beat St. Joseph's 73-58. Guys, the Patriots did not just win this game. They won validation. We saw players drop huge buckets. We saw some good defense. We saw some great shooting overall from George Mason. And ultimately, guys, we saw them go on a big run in that championship game. And it felt like it was a movie. Everything was going right for George Mason. And the team gathered on Selection Sunday, this past Sunday, not just as the A-10 champs, not just as hopefuls in the NCAA tournament, but as rightful challengers. They are the 11th seed facing the number 6 seed Florida State. And this is the moment that they've been waiting for. This is the moment that Coach Vanessa Blair Lewis has been coaching for. But make no mistake, while George Mason is the severe underdog in this undertaking, they're not scared at all.
A fantastic feel-good story for you. Florida State going to be facing the 11th seed George Mason Patriots, who are dancing for the first time in program history.
They've just been excited. They've been excited. It didn't matter who. I think, everybody kept saying, oh, who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? And one of them said, who's going to get us? They're very confident.
Who's going to get us? I love that confidence. And another team that is confident heading into the NCAA tournament is none other than UC San Diego.
UC San Diego has made history!
UC San Diego Tritons is headed to the NCAA tournament. And guys, this team had to wait 4 years for this to happen. 4 years in the making because, as y'all know, the NCAA has some interesting rules. And UC San Diego is a recent entry into the Division I division, right? They were not Division I. They went through the track to become a Division I team, which means that after you make that transition, you have to wait. NCAA rules forced them to into a reclassification period, which was a waiting game for 4 years. That made every victory, every D1 victory that UC San Diego had in the last couple of years, all of that kind of felt like a tease because it didn't matter ultimately how good they were, because they couldn't have an opportunity to actually play in the NCAA tournament. But this year, the chains are off. They are now eligible to actually make it to the NCAA tournament. And in their first year of eligibility, the Tritons, led by none other than Heidi Vanderveer. Yes, Vanderveer. That name is still making noise in the NCAA tournament. Just because Tara's gone doesn't mean that that Heidi Vanderveer is not going to continue the streak of the Vanderveers in the NCAA tournament. Y'all, the Tritons shattered the waiting game and sprinted straight to the spotlight. They are the Big West champions. That championship belonged to them in a significant takedown of UC Davis. The final score of that championship game was 75-66. Y'all, this was a game that UC San Diego was like, yeah, you know what? We're not losing. We're not losing. And the best part about UC San Diego is not just the women. It's the men as well. Both UC San Diego's men's and women's team made it to the tournament in their first year of eligibility. I believe this is the first time this has ever happened. Because, guys, UC San Diego didn't come to play. They did not just come to just arrive and be here. Nah, they have made history and put their stamp on their program for forever. And I think it is pretty awesome. We will see UC San Diego take on Southern coming up. So that should be pretty exciting. Okay, next up, Grand Canyon.
Is the 2025 WAC champion. They are headed to the NCAA tournament.
In that matchup, they'll be facing the 13 seed Grand Canyon Antelopes. First 31 season in program history, and they are dancing. Congratulations to those Lopes.
We going to Texas, y'all.
Grand Canyon, a team that, to me, truly, I didn't really realize they had a women's basketball program. I didn't know it was, I didn't know much about it at all. But I'm going to tell you that now. Grand Canyon is on my radar because they had a phenomenal streak. Talking about, we talk about teams that win a lot of games, right? That's important, right? But this streak was so significant, it was wild. Talk about 30 straight wins. The longest streak in Division I basketball. 30 straight wins. This team went 30-2 on the season. The WAC tournament champions. Grand Canyon. When we talk about teams that just came out the get-go with everybody being like, yo, who this team? What they all about? Why the Lopes keep winning? Why are the Lopes continuing to win? And they are winning because of primarily one lady, and her name is Molly Miller. Molly Miller is someone who, yes, right now she's at Grand Canyon, but I can guarantee you guys, Molly Miller is not staying. Like, you can expect her to be on another team next year. Like, I cannot imagine, guys. I cannot imagine her playing or her coaching Grand Canyon next year. Because again, this team went 32-2 on the season. 94%. 30 wins straight. Grand Canyon did not just win the WAC, they owned it. They were not supposed to be here. Not yet. Not this dominant. Not this early. However, you tell that to the players. Tell that to Trinity San Antonio, who won the WAC Player Conference of the Year, Conference Player of the Year, right? Tell that to Grand Canyon and their players and the defense that they play every single day, right? Tell that to the players who turn up in the tournament. The prize that Grand Canyon gets for going 30-0, going 32-2 on the season, the prize they get is a date with Baylor in Waco, Texas. This is the team that has some national championship banners hanging in their rafters. A team that expects to win, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the Lopes, they don't fear giants. They hunt them. And Grand Canyon is ready for the business. And I am excited to watch them play. So shout out to Molly Miller. There's some supposed talk about her possibly going to the SEC to coach next season. We'll ultimately see what happens. But I'm gonna tell you this: we are seeing so much coaching talent in mid-major schools that you better watch out, because we're going to see a lot of mid-majors bump up to I keep calling them power fives, power fours come next year. I'm just saying. Watch out for it. Watch out for it. You're going to see some familiar names next year for SEC teams. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, let's continue on with William and Mary.
Nascimento, the midi, rolls it in! 3-point lead for William and Mary. For the first time ever in school history, William and Mary is going dancing.
William and Mary, a team that has never made it to the NCAA tournament, a team that entered its conference as a number 9 seed, a team that lost twice badly to Campbell, which is the team that they ultimately beat, a team that went into the championship game, was down 14-0. The game started off as a nightmare. Most teams would have been like, man, we're in these championship games. We're in a championship game. We are starting to get killed. Most teams would have folded. But William and Mary didn't, because they're not most teams. We saw Bella Nascimento. I feel like I may be saying her last name wrong. But, she was not going to fall without a fight. 33 points for her, 11 rebounds, an MVP performance as the Tribe clawed their way back. Shot after shot, stop after stop, until they had entirely flipped the script. When the final buzzer sounded, Nascimento threw the ball in the air towards the roof, sealing the most improbable championship run to CAA history. Guys, William and Mary was not supposed to be here, but now they are dancing, and you just gotta love it. I'm just saying. I love these stories. This is the reason why I'm highlighting this stuff, is because most people won't. Most people are just going to focus on the big teams. Most people are going to focus on the teams that you know and all that stuff. But there are so many gems. There's so many stories. And guys, I am just I'm just on the surface of the amazing stories of the coaches, of the players, of the fights of these programs to do a thing that they had never done. These stories matter. These stories are important. And I wanted to highlight them because I just find them fascinating. And I thought you all might as well. So that's why I wanted to lead with this. Now, yes, I could have led with Unrivaled. And yes, probably that would have been more interesting to some of y'all. But these stories are important. And there is a reason why I'm telling them now. William and Mary will be facing High Point on Wednesday. That is a game that we'll ultimately see. We'll ultimately see what they do. But yeah, William and Mary, what a epic journey to the NCAA tournament. Next up, let's talk about Arkansas State.
We are born to Pensacola for one reason and one reason only, and that is to win a championship, all right? This is a business trip. But we are going to be prepared for whoever we play, all right? You gotta be tough as if you want to get this thing done for 40 minutes. And you can absolutely do this. What you have been working so hard for this whole season is right there. All you gotta do now is just go grab it. Choose we today. That's what we need to choose. When we are together, we cannot be broken. We cannot be broken. Nobody can break us when we choose we. This is gonna go down the way you want it to go down, because you know why? You're a team of first. And I've been saying it from the jump. A team of first, and you ain't done yet. Y'all got me? So you go out here and you be a shark. You ain't bait for nobody. You a shark. Let's do it. Come on.
Arkansas State. Arkansas State, man. Wow. This team has made an unprecedented run this season. Number one, Destiny Rogers, the person that you was hearing early in that clip, y'all, she's a flat out amazing coach. I'm just saying. Let's kind of walk through it. Here's the deal. Last year, Arkansas State was 13-17 on the season. 13-17, 6 of 12 in conference play. That was last year. This year, oh, what a difference a year makes. This year, 21-10 on the season overall. In conference play, 15-3 on the season. 15-3 on the season in conference play. What a difference this team has made over the span of 1 year. And one of the things that their head coach preaches is belief, man. We got to believe this stuff. We got to believe that we can take down the Giants. And that is exactly what Arkansas State did to even get to the NCAA tournament, because they had a 17-point miraculous comeback against James Madison. Because here's the deal. James Madison, I talked about them yesterday. They are a team, they don't lose when they're leading at halftime. James Madison was doing their thing in the championship game, conference championship game, leading at halftime, but Arkansas State said they were not going down without a fight. They decided to rewrite the rules because, yes, sure, James Madison didn't used to lose after leading at halftime, but Arkansas State was like, you know what? No, we're regrouping. We're getting back in this. And the Red Wolves stared down a 17-point deficit in the Sun Belt Championship. And for most teams, that is a death sentence. You're just may as well roll over and, you're done. You're losing. You're out. You're not making the NCAA tournament, but not for this team. Because you had player after player go crazy, okay? Chrislyn Rose knocking shot after shot after shot. Mimi McAllister, like so many players for this Arkansas State team stepped up and stepped out. They forced the game into overtime. And in that extra five minutes, they didn't just survive, guys. They dominated. When the dust settled, Arkansas State was a conference champion, standing where no team in program history has stood before. Now, they have a massive battle on their hands because they are trying to take down UConn in the NCAA tournament. It is a powerhouse versus a first-timer. But if we have learned anything about these Red Wolves this year, it is that they do not stop fighting. Regardless of how bad they're down, they don't stop fighting. Do I expect them to win against UConn? No, but I expect them to give everything they got. I expect them to give it every single thing they got. Now, finally, we gotta go to the last but not least team, FDU.
It doesn't need your attention. It doesn't ask for explanations. Perfection speaks for itself. You cannot bring it down, and if you try to compare it to others, you'd be forgetting that perfection stands alone. But perfection is certainly not lonely. No, it could never be that. Perfection calls for unity. It requires togetherness. It needs a bond so strong that the wills of others become the will of one. When it comes, perfection does not come quietly. It brings historic storms, storms that end droughts and leave legacies. These legacies can't be debated. These legacies last forever. These legacies are simply perfect.
FDU. The reason why this is titled Perfection Stands Alone, because that was FDU this year. Many of these teams, have experienced some perfection, and FDU was unbeatable at home. They were unstoppable in March, and they had 22 straight wins. Yeah, sure, not as good as the 30 game straight wins that we just talked about, but 22 straight wins. This is a team that 16-0 in conference play. They were undefeated at home, and now, for the first time ever, FDU is on the biggest stage. The Northeast Conference Championship belonged to the Knights this year, and their championship game against Stonehill was not in doubt. Easy game, no problem. They had already solidified the fact that they were going to be in the NCAA tournament, and there was one question left. Who was FDU going to go against? Who were they going to go against in March Madness? And turns out it is TCU. And for FDU, yeah, sure. No one's expecting a crazy finish to this game where they can upset TCU. But here's the thing. They have a coach who has been here before, right? Even though this is the first time the FDU is here, their secret weapon is their head coach, and Stephanie Gately. She is someone who, this is her 10th time making it into the NCAA tournament. And she knows how big this stage is. And she knows that her team is ready to prove that they belong. So, FDU versus TCU. A team on the rise versus a team with big expectations. Now it's time for us to buckle up, get ready, because we are in just for some amazing treats. Now, guys, those are all 6 of the stories. Because this year, for the NCAA tournament, new blood arrives. 6 teams, 6 stories. Hopefully, y'all have enjoyed this sort of like, again, I'm just kind of skimming the surface, guys. There's so much more that I could talk about with these teams. Like, literally, I could do an hour on each of these teams and talk about just their plight, their journey to get to where they are. I love it. I absolutely love it, guys. And I hope you do too. I hope this was interesting to you. I hope so. Again, y'all probably don't recognize any of these teams, and that's okay. That is absolutely okay. But I do think it's important for us not to just focus on the big teams, right? Let's not be those people that only care about people that we know, that only care about teams that we know. Because women's basketball is bigger than just a couple of teams. And I think it's important for us to talk about that. All right? Regardless of the reactions to it.